Heavenly Father, we just thank you so much for your presence. Thank you for your spirit right now, Lord God. We ask right now as we get ready to go before the people that you have assigned to my YouTube channel and the podcast, Lord God, and whoever else may come across this video or the podcast, Lord God, since we're going to have this as a multi-use. We just pray that whatever we speak tonight is for them. We pray that we would decrease and you would increase in us, Lord God, and that we would talk about what you would have us to talk about, Lord God. We have a topic here. But we just open the door for you to have your way and be led by the Spirit, Lord God. And we pray this in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen. Welcome back to the Godly Girl Talk channel. I am your host, Valora. Today I have with me a lovely guest. Her name is Latisa Be. I met her, I want to say about almost 2 years ago. It was in June of 2019, I believe it was. She had a conference, don't tell me, Life After conference. And she's going to talk more about the life after, but it was amazing. It was definitely God sent to me. It was during a time that I was going through a really, really hard time. And I wanted her to come on the channel because we are, this whole Godly Girl Talk is a ministry about going through something, healing through it, and then not just healing yourself, but helping others to heal. And I believe that Latisa also has the same with her ministry of Life After. And I want her to kind of introduce herself, of course, and tell us about your ministry and your organization and what you do on a daily basis.
Well, hello, everybody. Oh, I hear back noise.
I heard a little bit, but it went away. So
okay. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Latisa Be, and Valoria, thank you so much for inviting me to your platform. As Valoria said, I am the owner and operator of Life After Experience, and this is really an organization that helps women to embrace the life after, no matter what has happened in their life. You know, it can be life after loss. It can be life after, it's really life after any type of loss, debt, relationships, jobs. It's just life after anything, divorce. It doesn't really matter, because I've been through a lot of stuff and I really didn't know what to do once the next life happened, the next chapter of my life.
That's good. That's good. And yes, I definitely love her organization, and I have the shirt. I was going to wear it today, but I'm actually in Alabama, y'all, recording. So things kind of got out of the way, but I said I still want to get this recorded. And I also set a time with Miss Latisa, and she's a busy lady. I mean, I'm busy, you know, but she's way more busier than I am. So I don't want to, and especially since she's doing this for absolutely free, I thank God, and I just pray that God will continue to bless her for that, because, you know, people charging just to talk on the phone with you now. Like, they like, oh, you send me a text message, that's $50. Oh, and I don't blame them, because they're at that stage in their life. So I understand it. But I'm just thankful that, you know, because I'm not at that stage where I can pay for everything, you know, but I will get there for sure. That's going to be, you know, I'm going to probably be charging, hopefully not for phone calls and text messages, but for different services that I offer. I mean, it's just, you know, it's a part of the life we live. You know, when you do an organization, you're going to have to charge for it. So, so for a topic today, y'all, we're going to talk about hurting, healing, and helping. So we all have gone through, as Latisa said, some type of hurt. Like she said, it could be loss of a child, or loss of a parent, or loss of anyone through death. It could be a divorce. It could be loss of a job. It could be loss of life as you knew it. Some people have gone from having everything that they need to going to homeless. So that's a loss. We lose many different things in life. And I've always, you know, felt like, okay, you know, why is this being taken away from me? And, you know, what is it? And so I've learned that, and Latisa, I want you to chime in on that as well. Like, when I go through some type of loss or some type of hurt, I'm immediately like, okay, what can I learn from this? What can, you know, because I'm not going to sit there with the woe is me. I've never been that person with the woe is me. And some people have, you know, that moment. They have that woe is me moment, and that's okay. But just don't stay in that woe is me moment. It's like, okay, what's next after this? Like, what do I need to do to actually properly go through this, because I mean, we can go through things, but it won't be the good way. It won't be the healthy way.
Exactly.
Result to, drugs, or we can result to, different type of things to cope with the loss or the the hurt or whatever it is. Did you want to say anything about that, Latisa?
Yeah, well, I mean, I totally agree that when we go through things, I have to process it. And that processing time really depends on the impact, whatever that change had in my life. Sometimes I can just process it. It'll take me a couple of minutes, maybe to an hour. And then sometimes it's taking me a week to 2 weeks to process certain things before I can just start seeing what can I learn out of it. I allow myself to feel it. A lot of times, a lot of people want to do when change happens that negatively impacts our lives, we don't want to feel it. We do anything and everything so that we don't feel it. Well, I now in this stage of my life, I try to feel everything because I don't want it to rear its ugly head up in the future. So I allow it the time and space it needs to feel that pain.
Right. That's good. That's good. And I like especially what you said about, like, I don't want it to come back up in the future, because what we don't understand is if we don't face it now, we will see it again. It's not just gonna go away.
It will come back.
Yeah,
it will. I tell people that all the time. You will never heal what you refuse to feel. Just because you avoid it now, it's not going nowhere. All it's doing is getting stored in your body. And the minute something else happens, it's gonna come back up. So now you're not dealing with just what happened. You're dealing with what happened now, plus what you didn't deal with before. So let's just take the time and acknowledge our feelings when change happens to us that negatively impacts us.
That's good. That's good. And I mean, and who goes through life and doesn't get hurt? There's nobody. There's nobody.
And I do believe that that's what, our paths are. We are challenged. We are provided with change because this is the way we grow. If we're never provided with change or a challenge, we're going to stay stagnant. And what good are we stagnant? We're meant to grow. We have to serve a higher purpose.
That's good.
But we gotta change. You gotta put some things in the fire for you to be able to shape it and mold it to grow to be the best thing it can. So sometimes we gotta walk through that fire to get molded.
Right. That's good. Y'all excuse this noise. This is real life here. I'm at my parents' house and they have one of these old clocks and it just chimes every, 30 minutes. So hopefully y'all don't have to hear it too many times. But yeah, that's what we're experiencing right now. But yes, that is so good. Like you said, fire is the only thing that kind of really shapes us and mold us. Like we as people, we don't want to go through stuff. We don't want to hurt. We don't want to. And I mean, that's, it's knowledgeable. I mean, it's not knowledgeable. It's normal for us not to want to hurt. Like nobody wants to say, you know what? I just want to be hurt today. I want to be hurt. I need to be hurt so that I can grow. No, we don't want that, but it's going to happen. And that's just a part of normal life process. And so if we know that it's going to happen, then let's go ahead and change our perspective about hurt. And that's key right there. I feel like if you change your perspective about pain or about change, then it changed your whole world.
Right. One thing I like to tell my clients a lot, because like you say, nobody wants to get hurt. I always use this analogy of going to the gym. When we go to the gym and you get in the gym for the first time, what are you going to feel? Pain. Because your muscles are not used to dealing with that stuff. So you get in there but you have a goal. You're trying to go somewhere. Right. Well, there's some pain that we have to go through to get those muscles ready to be able to look the way we want them to look, to be able to slim it up. Yeah. We have to go through some pain. But once we get through that pain, it gets easier. Every day gets easier, and then we achieve our goal. And that's the same way we do with life. We all have a goal. You have committed and said, this is what I want. You've prayed, you've asked for it. So this is really you being prepared for the next level. You got to go through some pain to get there. That's it. Nothing's for free. So if you change your perspective and just say, hey, this is about me getting to the next level. Yeah, I do not like this pain that I'm in right now. This crap hurts.
Yes.
It hurts. Yeah. But take care of yourself. Don't ignore it because, even when you're going to the gym and you get those muscle pains and everything, you can't ignore that. What you do? You go get some Epsom salt, you go sit in the sauna, you take a long bath. You're doing things to help your body to heal. Well, that's the same thing when we're hurting through life challenges.
That's so good.
Get help to help yourself to heal, whether you got to speak to a coach, whether you got to speak to a therapist, you got to get to a priest, whoever gonna help you to get through that moment. That's your help.
That's good. That's so good.
Because it's going to get easier. It's going to get better. It will not hurt as much.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so good. So good. I love that, the workout thing, because and I was just telling my brother, I just don't stay consistent with not cardio. I'm good with cardio, but weightlifting. I'm not changing the subject, but it's if you don't stay consistent with it, if you don't, you won't ever heal. You won't ever see the results that you want.
You got to start all over every time.
Every time you feel that same pain
all over again. And it's the same thing with life challenges. Yeah. Every time you start and you stop, you got to do it all over again. Mm-hmm. So just take the time and feel it.
That's right. That's right. And it's I love that we're at that place where we can see it now, but I wasn't always there. And I'm sure you can speak to the same, because I think you actually talked about it at your conference. I wasn't always there. And actually when I came to your conference, I wasn't there. I went to your conference and I was like, oh, I felt good. And I was like, yeah. But I didn't keep going with the healing, going to see a therapist, going to, really facing the situation that I was going through, which was at that time, it was just a separation. It had not been a divorce, but I kept tapping back in, jumping back in the ring with him. And it was every time I get in the ring, I get knocked out again. I'm like, okay, I'm out again. So then next thing you know, it's okay, get back in the ring again. And I'm fighting, I don't have much because I keep getting knocked out, and I'm going back in, and I'm really not getting I'm not getting water, and I'm not getting, my wounds bandages up. I'm not getting that done. But then I'm going back in the ring, half empty or almost empty, if you will, and just trying to fight. And it's and then finally it was just I can't fight no more. I can't, literally, I literally did not even jump over the whatever in the ring. I didn't jump over the gate thing. I'm just you know what? I give up. You win. And it's at that moment I began to heal. At that moment I said, I've come to the end of myself. I've come to the end of trying to fight this battle by myself. And that's when I just really just poured myself into God. And my friends just told me last night, I love to hear feedback, because I think on it. I always tell them, no matter if you think I'm not listening, I'm listening. And even if I don't feel like it applies to me, I still pray about it and I ask God, does this apply to me? Is there some truth in this for me? And they said, God was your rebound. They said, and they said, it's not a bad thing. It's good that you rebounded with him, because you could have rebounded with a lot of different things, but you rebounded with God. And they was you went full in on God, full blown. But now I'm at a place where I feel safe with God. So I don't want to go out and explore anything else. I'm just I'm married to God. And they but sis, God wants you to be married to somebody else. God has, and I'm I don't feel that. And it's because you're trying to put up a defense. You're trying to put up a wall to you getting married again, because you feel safe with God. You feel he can't hurt you, and he won't hurt you. And so that. And so you're okay, I know I'm safe here, so I won't go and be with nobody else, because I know they could possibly hurt me, because they're imperfect, and I can hurt them because I'm imperfect. But I'm playing it safe now, and that's not full, what I'm saying? That's not fully healing. So also I want to say, to speak to healing just a little bit, because I know we haven't kind of segued into it, but I think healing is ongoing too. You never come to a place where you just I'm healed from this. My divorce, I'm healed from that. Or, you lost your son, right? And so you can never say, I'm healed from it. But some people may say, I see the way Latisa is now about her son, the way she talks about her son, and she's able to talk about it maybe without crying, or she's maybe able to go to the grave site without crying, or she has started this memorial for him, or, things like that. And that's showing, okay, Valor, I see now that she's not broken anymore, where she's can't even, can't eat, or can't sleep, or she's just always crying. She's very emotional. When she think about, her life, she just feels like it's a failure because her marriage didn't work or whatever. They see me now making steps, but I always tell people I'm still not healed. I don't think you ever go to one, because there's triggers. And even if you heal, you still gonna experience triggers, but your healing will change your perspective even of the trigger as well.
Right. I do believe that certain things, I don't know if it's a certain thing that's called as healed. I do believe we've learned to embrace what we have right now. And when I think about my son, have I totally like healed 100%? I don't know, because there's always a part of me that's gone. I have this big picture of my son in the living room, and every time I see him, I blow a kiss and I feel that loss all over again. It's an emptiness there. Does it take me down like it used to? No, because I have done a lot of healing to be able to move forward and embrace that this is my new life. This is the life that I have. A lot of us get stuck in our old life, and we want things to change that we have no control over. Yeah. So when we get stuck there, we don't know how to embrace the future because it requires some level of healing. And when I think about healing, I think about letting go. I think about embracing. That's really what healing is. Letting go of the things that is keeping you in that place of stuckness, and healing to the point where you're going on the path to say, I'm accepting that this is my life. I'm accepting there's nothing I can do about what happened. I'm accepting that I am not the same that I was before this change. Yeah. So now I'm going to embrace the new life I have. That is really, to me, what healing is. It's about, letting go and accepting. That's healing.
That's good. I like that.
When you think of it from an emotional wound perspective, these are not cuts that you can make and stitch up and they heal like that. Right. Nah, that's not how healing works for emotional wounds. That's a physical. Physical is easy. You say, I take a physical wound over an emotional wound any day.
Mm-hmm. Because people can't see the emotional wounds. People can't see those. So you could be walking around and literally just dying on the inside.
I did it for 4 years.
Yeah.
The first few years, for those who don't know my story, my son was murdered when he was 19, just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And his life was taken from him senselessly. And I really didn't know how to accept his death. I didn't know how to move forward. So for 4 years, literally about 4.5 years, I wore this beautiful mask on my face. When you saw me smiling, laughing, dancing. Girl, I was doing all types of things because I was doing all that stuff to avoid feeling my pain, to avoid feeling the loss. I just kept myself super busy. But when I went home, I was broken, alone, and girl, I was full of sadness. But that's the things that we do. And when I think about all that, the journey that has taken to get me to this, it's been a roller coaster ride. It's definitely been a roller coaster ride. Now, I don't even know why I said that, but that's what came out of my mouth. Maybe somebody need to hear that just now. Because when I tell you there is life after everything. And I didn't think there was a life after losing my son.
Yeah.
I really didn't think it. I didn't see it. Life didn't even matter to me at this time. I couldn't see the next day. But there is a life after, but we have to choose it. We can stay where we are and wallow and be sad and sorry and stop living, or we can choose to embrace the new life.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but there is a choice. And I think we all deserve to live. If you were blessed to wake up the next day and still able to breathe this air, you have to appreciate the gift of now.
Yeah, that's good. So good. Yeah, and you said I didn't intend to say that, but the Spirit does that. It always gives us what the person that is going to watch this, the person that's going to listen to this, and I won't say the person, I'll say the people, because there's going to be, people that are going to listen to this, and there are going to be pieces and bits and pieces that they need to pull away, that they need to take them off the edge. And I believe that's why God even placed this topic on my spirit, and then placed you in my spirit to say, okay, let me reach out to her, and I just love how God do, because the whole time I'm thinking, I meet you And, in June of 2019 at a conference, it's to help me during the time, but I never thought we would be here doing this. Like, I'm saying, at that time, I'm like, oh, that's so amazing that she has life after. I know our losses are totally different, but if she can go forward after that, and she can, live after that, like you said, and have breath in her lungs and go forward and smile after that, and just have, just have so much purpose after that. There has to be purpose in this for me. And I used to always look at that shirt, and I used to like, it has butterflies on it, I believe, right? And it's like, I think about the process of the butterfly,
Yes.
And, oh, that's
why I chose it. That's exactly why I chose a butterfly. Just thinking about the process of what it takes to take a caterpillar to a beautiful butterfly, because I believe that's what we go through when we go through a transformation. We have to shed that old skin, that old body, because there is something beautiful that's waiting on the other side. It's not an easy journey, but when that caterpillar emerges, baby, it's so beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, because you couldn't tell me this would be me right now. If we go back 5 years, girl, we saying going back 10 years from now, when this first happened, to say I'd be doing this stuff, I tell you, who are you talking to? Because it's not Latisa.
Yeah.
Even 5 years ago, this girl right here, she is such the product of letting everything go.
Yeah.
Letting everything go and just living my life on my own terms, and just allowing myself to feel. Yeah. Because for the first 40 some odd years of my life, I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel, I covered it up. I avoided it. I didn't,
That's so good.
I'm being strong, Yeah. I got to be strong.
Right. Independent women.
Yeah. Black girl, let me tell you, I'll be like in there crying over a TV show now.
Yeah. And that's me. I'm always crying at something now. And people may say, oh, you're the weakest person ever. No, the people who are weak are the ones that are not crying.
Say that again. Say that loud enough for the people in the back to hear you.
People that are weak are the ones that are not crying, because I remember those times when I was holding those tears on the inside, trying to be strong, but really just killing myself.
Exactly.
Now when I release, I feel comfortable to release it, because it comes out, and it's like, I know how to name it too. I know how to name, why am I crying to this? I know how to name my emotion. That's a whole nother level of like living right there.
It
to
is.
be able to release it and say it, like, and open up your mouth and say, this is how I'm feeling. Because there's a lot of times we hold in our feelings, just because of other people, or because of what we think people are going to say about us.
But girl, a lot of times people don't even know what their emotions are. When I talk to people, and one of the things, because I'm also a grief coach for the viewing audience or listening audience, and one of the things that I do with my clients, I want to know, how are you feeling at the moment? Because that's what's important to me, to get through those feelings. A lot of times I really don't know what it is. So I have like an emotions chart that I need them to pick out the emotions that they're feeling, because they really don't know how to articulate what it is they're feeling. They just know they're not feeling good. Anger and fear, frustration, hatred, all the negative ones are so quick but there's so many emotions out there that we don't really know. And so many people can't articulate how they're feeling.
Yeah. How do you, and so I think that's so amazing too, y'all. And I just want to point that out. And I don't know if anybody else has caught it, but, or when you watch this video, I don't know if you will catch it, but she said she's a grief coach now. Like, she went through what she went through, but now she's a grief coach, because you hurt, you heal, and you help. Like, and that's the process. That's the process that you go through. And the help is, she's a grief coach now, and she's helping people go through not necessarily the same thing. It could be, many different types of grief, because grief is, divorce. Grief is losing your job. Grief is whatever, that brings you grief. Like, that's just what it is, And so, but she's using that charge to be, okay, let me go and help somebody else. Because when you go through something like that, you can help people. You're better equipped to help people then. You're not equipped to help people if you ain't been through nothing. And that's what I always tell people too. That's a good thing too. It wasn't until I went through what I went through that shaped me. Because like, really, I mean, people say, oh, you knew who you was. I don't really think I knew who I was until I was shaken up. And like all the pieces had just like came apart. And I was like,
that's right.
Okay, I need to figure this out. Like, who am I? What am I supposed to be doing? And like I always say now, it was hard. I mean, my process, and I know, and everybody has their own individual process. But some people say they went through divorce and they wasn't moved by it. It was nothing for them. For me, it almost took me out of here. And because it was just, it was so many different aspects to it. It wasn't just the separation of him and I, and we didn't even have kids, but it was separation of our families. It was a separation of the life that we had imagined, that we had talked about, and all the things that we had shared, and breaking apart like the finances and the house and the car, and all this stuff. And even now, it's a year later, and even now there are still some things that are not completely like done with. We still have some things that are open. So this is still going on. And it was just terrorizing for me. Like, I was just like, I can't believe I'm in this situation. Like, what is my life? And it was hard for me. I'll just say that. And that was what I needed, though. I know it sounds crazy to some people, but that's exactly what I needed. I definitely wouldn't say that you would agree with this, that, you needed your son to, no, absolutely. But for me and who I was, prior to my divorce and the separation and everything that happened, I needed that to happen. I needed that so that I can be this butterfly,
Exactly.
I didn't want to say
I feel you. I feel you, Valoria. So no, I didn't need my son to go nowhere. Trust me. Let me tell you something. I said I'm not the same person I was, right? I'm a totally different person. But my son is the reason why I am this person I am today. He was the one that when I turned 19 and I became a mom, he changed me then. He made me to the woman I was at 19. And when he transitioned, his death changed me again. So my son is the total reason why I am Latisa Be today. He is. I am so grateful that I had the opportunity to be his mother. Really, I am. Because the woman I was, she was okay. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. She was okay. She was doing the thing, but she was just existing. She didn't have a purpose. She was just doing what she can do, what she knows. It's like checking the box. Go to college, check. Get a house, check. Get a car, check. Take care of my kids, check. Take care of my mom, check. That's it. That's all she was. Now this woman right here, oh my goodness, I need 2 sheets of paper probably to do it. Because she has a fire lit in her. She has a purpose inside of her. And that purpose was birthed from my son's death. So, no, I didn't want him to go nowhere, but if he had to leave me the way he did, I'm thankful that he has put something inside of me to make me transition and transform to the next level, because I probably still be that old Latisa without him.
And you couldn't say,
if I could if I can have the old Latisa back in him, I take him any day, right? I'll take her any day.
Absolutely.
Any day. But it ain't my reality. It's not my reality. So let me just embrace this new one that's right here and use her to the best ability and use the gifts that God gave me.
Yes. And that's so good. That's so good, because you said, if I could have her back, I know the church folks probably think, oh, she probably gonna say, if I could have her back and have my son back, I'll just leave my son. No. Face the reality. I want my son back. Don't get it, twisted here. I want my son back, and I'll go back to that old person.
That's right.
Because yes, I love my baby and I want him here with me. Of course, that's the reality. So that's the thing. Face the reality. And I'm talking to myself. If I ain't talking to nobody else, I'm talking to myself, because I used to be like, oh, I don't want this, or I won't do this again, and I won't do that again. And it's like, but that's not really what you feel.
Right.
That's not really what you really feel. Like, you really do want this. You really do want a family one day. And so why are you saying you'll just settle for this? You know what I'm saying? And even if you feel like you're not settling because you got God, the greatest thing of all, or the greatest being of all, greatest spirit of all, but you are settling because he has a plan for you. And you like, oh no, I don't want your plan, because it's
you getting in the way. You getting in your own way.
That's it.
Just let it play out the way it's supposed to happen. And whatever happens will happen.
That's good. And I'm learning, and I'm grateful that I'm at a place where even now, this is healing. It never stops. Like, so, and this is just a prime example of it never stopping, because a lot of people think, oh, but Lord, you're doing so good now, since everything happened or whatever. And I'm like, I mean, I'm better than I was. I'm not gonna say I'm not better, and I'm clear about that too. Like, I have to stop, like,
downplaying.
Yeah, I do. And I have to stop doing that, because, like, I'm downplaying God. I'm downplaying what he's done in my life. And that's not fair to him. You know what I'm saying? And that's not fair to me either. So, I have to stop downplaying it. But I have grown, but there's still a process to take place every single day. Until I die, there will be a process that never stops. And I don't know where I was going with this, but just saying, like, because I want people to see that I still have stuff, like, because I think when people get on platforms and stuff, they get on YouTube, they have a podcast, or they start preaching and teaching the word of God, people feel like, oh, they like this all together. I want y'all to know that, like, I am probably one of the most broken, like, people that are just basically going through what God is, teaching me and learning what I'm learning in his word and just living it out. But my life is not all peaches and roses. Do I have joy every day? That's only because of God. Because if I look at my life, I can go, woe is me. I can go, woe is me about something. I can go, woe is me about my finances, or about how my situation is now that I'm divorced and all this kind of stuff. But why? What's the purpose in that? What's that going to do for me? How is that going to help me fly as a butterfly? How is that? It's not going to help me. It's like I'm reverting back. I'm clamping my wings up when I do that. And I'm going back, reverting back to the caterpillar. Like, it's like, bro, what are you doing? You got to fly. Even if, your wings have been cut or something, you got to fly. It'll come back. They'll fill out. Like that.
Regenerate.
Yes. Absolutely. That's the terminology for regenerate. I'm like, they'll fill out. But yes, they'll regenerate. Absolutely. Just like with anything, we cut ourselves, the skin forms back over, So yeah, that was good. So healing. We talked about, therapy and seeing a grief coach. What are some other things that you can say help you with your healing process?
I would say I had this little acronym that I use. I think I actually taught it at that workshop the day that you came to the workshop.
If you say, I bet you I'll probably come back.
Yeah, it's an acronym I use. I call it my tools. It's my toolbox, and the T stands for time. I had to give myself time, a time to sit in my loss. Yeah. Sit in it and really reflect on what it is that's happening to me and how is it truly impacting my life and how is it changing my life. Nobody can do that for you.
Yeah.
These are all things that you can only do for yourself.
Right.
Another thing is I had to find a healthy outlet, an outlet. I danced. That's what I did.
You did.
I danced and danced and danced. I got really good at it too. I mean, like to the competitive level, that's how I did. I danced. And what that healthy outlet allowed me to do was to be able to find some peace where I had a euphoric high, where if I needed to escape for a minute, I need something to free my mind from the pain and the turmoil and emotions that are going on. I needed a break. I knew I can go dancing. Some people, bowl. Some people go to church all the time. Everybody need a healthy outlet. And I think another thing, I had to have an open mind to see the world differently now. Where I think what helped me so much with accepting my son's death is that I changed the way I looked at his death. Instead of what I lost, I looked at what I had the opportunity to have. I became grateful for it. So I became grateful for the 19 years I had with him because I realized not everyone got 19 years. Some mothers didn't get 19 months, better yet 19 days. Yeah. So I started being thankful for those 19 years and it helped me to keep moving forward. And then I had to give myself permission to live. That right there, living, I stopped living. I don't know. I guess it's like my son's gone, even though I had another child, but a big part of me was gone. So I wanted to just stop doing everything. But no, I had to give myself permission to just live and continue to move forward and find new things to kind of maybe feel at the space that was left in my heart. And then the last part, that support system. Not only therapy didn't work too well for me. And let me tell you why therapy didn't work too well for me. Because I didn't find the right therapist.
That's good.
Someone who had experienced what I experienced.
Yeah.
And that's why I ended up going to a coach, because a coach was able to relate to me. Yeah, a coach was able to give me, okay, I know what you're feeling right now, but if you do this, this will help you through. Instead of a therapist, unfortunately, just having a checkbox saying I'm a grief coach. I'm a grief specialist. Yeah. So those things really would help me throughout the entire journey to get to this place that I'm in right now.
That's good.
My toolkit.
I love that. I think you just really wrapped it up in that. Like you wrapped up the healing part into an acronym, and that's good because that can apply to any person. Because if you can make it individual, you make it what you need it to be, but you need to cover those bases. You need to give yourself the time. You need to have the open mind, the outlets. You need to live. You need to have the support, whether that support is, like you said, a therapist or a coach or a pastor or
whatever. Anybody.
It's whatever you need to get through that. It doesn't have to be a specific way. Like you have to do X, Y, and Z, but you want to make sure that you cover all those bases of the tools.
Yes.
However you cover.
Yes.
Yeah. That's good. That's so good. That's so good, y'all. So, and if y'all listening and y'all feel like Latisa can help y'all, I'm going to have her information in the show notes, so y'all will be able to find her and submit for consultation because I think she's amazing. As a matter of fact, I know she's amazing. I won't say I think. I know she's amazing. She may not be amazing for you, but you can find out. She may be, but I know she's amazing. So so I really don't have anything else for healing because I definitely think covering all those bases. I do still have my notes from the conference that I went to. So I need to re-up on that. But that just really just put me that tool, like that toolkit. And it's like, when something breaks, something happens, you need a toolkit.
You need your toolkit.
Yeah.
You need your
That's
toolkit.
good. That's good.
So,
That's good.
I always use my toolkit in anything that happens in my life. My toolkit, I always reflect back on it.
Because it's not, and then too, I like the toolkit because it's not one of those things that you put away and you're not going to have to use it again. Toolkit, you always got to bring it out. Honestly, you need to have your tools with you all the time because you don't know what's going to happen.
All the time. You make it a part. You make it a part of you. You just make it a part of you and your life and what you're doing going forward.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So then we talk about the help portion, which is, and that can look different. Like you said, you're a grief coach. You also do conferences. I'm sure you probably do things, in the community when you see people or, randomly. Yep. How does that look? How does the help part look for you, like as a whole?
Right. So I help on so many different levels on different types of organizations. So one way I help from nonprofit, I'm on the board of the Houston Hospice. So I help in that way by running an organization that helps people who are getting ready to prepare for the transition.
Right.
So that's one way I help in the community. Another thing, I'm the host of Overcoming and Becoming. It's a TV show that explores the different dimensions of healing, because I know everybody doesn't have a great girlfriend maybe that they can call to get great advice, or maybe they can't afford a therapist or even a grief coach. So what I did, I put on a TV show called Overcoming and Becoming, where I invite great, amazing women to come and share their stories, and not only share their stories, but to tell us what you did. Because if you can't tell me what you did, you are no value to my viewers.
Come on. That's good.
Right. So we're trying to help people to heal here. We're trying to heal together. Yeah. You went through divorce. Okay. How did you get through this public divorce?
Right.
Okay. This is what you did. How did you get through the trauma of being human trafficked? This is okay. This is what she did. So it's like giving people some tips on how to start moving forward if they don't know what to do.
That's good. So good. So many different points, like you said. And I think, and like, even though, like, I feel like I feel like all of this ties together. It ties together, and it reminds me of our spiritual gifts that God gives us all. Like, God gives us all different spiritual gifts, but he says that we all are one body, and it's one being, one spirit that gave us the gifts. So everybody got different gifts. And so you can't say, I don't want to work with that person. I don't want to work with this person. We all need to work together to help one another. Like, we have to, because we all have different gifts. So you may say, I can't help you with that, but let me refer you to so-and-so.
Exactly.
Or, like you said, you bring people on your show and they talk about what they did, their process. So you're helping people across the board who going through things that you probably never even went through. You probably never been human trafficked, but
I haven't.
Somebody who has been human trafficked or is in human trafficking at this point get through that because you brought somebody else on with their gift, their experience. Yes. And that's key. Like, people want to do things by themselves. They want to be a one-man show, and it's impossible for you to reach people if you're going to be a one-man show. Like, because you're only going to reach the people that have gone through what you're going, you've gone through. And then, even then, what you go through and how you go through it is different,
Totally different.
Yeah.
Totally different. I mean, losing a child, depending on how old the child is 3 different types of coaches. From whether the child was didn't come through as a miscarriage versus a newborn versus an early age versus an adult versus an older kid. They're all different types. And so I can't speak to all that, but I can speak to having a teenager that died. I can speak to that, but I can't speak to nobody else's journey. Right. And that's why I do like to invite other people who can speak to the journey that's more equipped to provide better information to help you to move forward.
That's good. That's good. Y'all listen, I have been blessed by Miss Latisa Be. I'm so grateful to God that you came on with me and you agreed to this, because it has been amazing. Like, it has been amazing. I mean, healing for me even now, like, even just listening and having this conversation with you, like, this is going to probably flow through me all week. And, I mean, on and on, because it's just like, it's like you can always learn something, and always being like willing to learn something from every person, because like I was like, well, her son, that's different from me, but it was so much that I learned from you. And even the ladies that was there at the conference, like they're different situations, and it was just like, wow, and to know, that people, like, even now as a helper, I have the Golly Girl Talk ministry, and then I have connect groups, of small women that I talk to. Small groups of women that I talk to, and even like my friends or my family. I feel like my main ministry is my family. Like, I feel like that's where my main work is, with my family. Like, because like I feel like your family is first. Like, they're the first people you need to reach. You can't be out here going outside of your house to help other people, and you're not even helping the people in your house. It's like you walking past the sick people in your home, not giving them medication, taking the medication that's for them out to the community. And it's like, you're sick, we live with you. So I feel like that's, mostly my first ministry, if you will. And where was I going?
I don't know, but it's okay. But I get what you're saying, though. I get what you're saying, because my husband tells me that, I'm married now, girl.
Yes. Come on. I think you were when
I must have just got married. Yeah.
It was like June.
I got married I had just got married. You're right. I just got married in December.
Okay.
So, but my husband tell me all the time, he said, Latisa, when I married you, I married my pain. And I'm like, what? He said, let me clear it up. I said, you got to clear that one up for me. He said, just being around you, you forced me to feel my emotions. He said throughout his whole life, he just avoided everything, but he can't avoid his emotions around me.
Not you.
Because of what I do. Right. I'm always encouraging not only him to speak what's on your mind. What are you feeling? Other people, he hears it. He said, I can't help but to live it. Just being around you. So that's the same thing with you and your presence with your family. Your family is going to resonate from all the healing that you're doing. It's going, and you don't even see it. They're watching you.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. And like you said, I don't even have to say anything. Just being
Nope.
in, like me being in their presence. And my aunt has said that. My cousins have said that. And so I definitely believe that. And even other people that's been around me, like they said that, like just watching me, even my dad, he goes, you're gonna be a preacher one day. And I'm like, a preacher, dad. And he's like, yeah, he's like, you got a lot of knowledge. He's like, I'm like, okay. And and he talks to me a lot. Like he may not talk to other people, but he talks to me, and I value that. I'm like, thank God that he talks to me, because obviously he sees something in me. He sees understanding in me that he doesn't see in other people, and I'm grateful for that. And it's like, you can't be out here helping everybody else, and people in your own space are sick. But yeah, like I've enjoyed this so much. Did you want to say anything else before we close out, like to the listeners, the viewers?
Yeah, I just want to say again, thank you for inviting me to this platform, because I love talking about healing and helping, everything that you said. That's why it was so easy for me to say yes, because it is me giving back. I do know who your audience is, and what I have to say, I do believe is valuable to your audience. And another thing that I do is, when I deal with grief clients, a lot of the times I was dealing with mothers because they attract me, because I've lost a child and they can relate, and I can relate to what they're doing. But when my clients will come to me, there's really nothing I can do or help them or say to them that's going to make them feel better about the loss of their child. So a lot of the things that we were talking about really was about dealing with stuff they never dealt with in the past, all the stuff that they covered up and just pushed down. So what I decided to do, I start working with women to let go of the stuff that they refuse to feel, so that when they do have to have a life-changing event like the death of a loved one, they're only dealing with the death. Because through the years, we've let go of everything else. And letting go, when you let go of all that pain and those limiting beliefs that you've been holding on to all these years, it allows the gift that your creator has given you to emerge. Because we all have it, but it's covered. It's covered with all this pain. It's time for us to let this pain out, let it go. Let's feel it so we can be and become the creatures we were created to be. I think I love spreading that message to everybody, and anybody that's ready to let go and really just embrace who they were created to be, to see what their gift is. Just let me know, because that's what I do. I help people to uncover their gifts and start getting to that next level so you can transform and give back, be able to help others, because we all have a voice.
That's good. It's so good. And I can tell like your passion in it, like when you're talking, it's like your energy rises, like, and there's nothing like when you're talking about something that
it's like I transform, girl. And it's like, who is this person? I transform when I look at myself on camera. I say, girl, you come alive.
It's beautiful. It's so beautiful though, because it's like, so many people are just like, they want the healing for themselves and they want to keep it to themselves, but they're not healing the right way. Because if you're healing the right way, you can't help but to want to spread it. Like they say, right. hurt people, but heal people. Heal people. Just like hurt people, heal people. Mm-hmm. Happy people or joyful people, they want to see other people joyful. They don't like to see people sad and down and out. They like, baby, I can help you. I can help you get here. Like, let me help you. I'm excited to. Like,
but see, that's the hardest part though. The hardest part is making the decision that you want help. And a lot of people, it take them a long time. I mean, how long did it take you? I know how long it took me to know that I was ready for that next level.
Yeah, it took me a long year, and just a long year, the whole 2019, because I found out about the situation with that kind of like turned the door in my my past marriage. And so from 2019, all the way from 2019, the whole year of 2019, it wasn't until like maybe I think it had to be January 2020 is when I was like, you know what? I want to let this go. I want to let it go. I want to let it go. I tap in. I'm out. Cancel me out. And I was like, I went and did everything peacefully. And I remember people used to tell me, they was like, you keep on talking about you gonna do this, you gonna do that. But when you really do it, you ain't gotta tell nobody. You ain't gonna tell nobody. You
just gonna do it.
And I was like, literally filling out divorce papers, signing everything, like mail this here, mail that there, do this, do that. And it was like, and even my ex-husband at the time, he was like, you know, you're not really doing this. You can't really do this. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. When you're done, you're done.
Yeah.
You know, we do try to really hold on and we try to do the work. But once our mind is made up and we finally reach that decision, say, okay, I'm done. I'm letting my hands go. I'm ready to let this all go. We put action in place. Yeah. We ain't got to say nothing. Yeah. The actions will speak for itself.
That's it. That's good. Yeah. And I feel like when I did that, when I actually let go,
the release.
Almost scary. It was like, hold on, wait a minute, what are we doing? What's this? This is uncharted territory. Never been here before. Like,
uncharted. What am I doing? I like that. Uncharted.
Yeah, it was like I let go, and it was like chains fell off of me. Like chains that I didn't even know I was hooked up to.
Yes.
They had released. And I was like,
yes.
Oh,
yes.
Like
you let go all that weight.
Yes, I let it go. It was like I was free. And like people was like, when I got my divorce decree and stuff, I was just like, thank you, God. Like I just feel so amazing. Like, and I thought I would get the divorce decree and be like, oh, it's real, you know, that type of thing. But I was like, no, this is it.
I think when I've been through a divorce before, and you know, so I can relate to a lot of the things that you're talking about. And when I first did it and made the decision, it was very uncomfortable because, like you said, it was uncharted territory. I was by myself. You know, it was odd for me. Yeah. But once I did it all and let it go, I look back and say, why didn't I do this sooner?
Woo!
You know, it's like I was so afraid of the unknown, so afraid. But then when I did it and found a release and see how freeing it was like, girl, what was you thinking of? You should have been did this if you knew this was going to be your life. But a lot of times, if we know what the outcome is going to be, we're going to do things. If we know what the outcome, and I think because we never know what the outcome, it scares a lot of people from even trying and doing things because they don't know what the outcome is, and they rather stay with, as they say, the devil they know instead of the one they don't.
That's so good. That's good right there. And it made me think about, like you said, with you don't know what's on the other side, but it's like literally I was in a cage and I actually had the key to get out of the cage. But I was sitting in there with the key, and I was like, I do.
Do I go?
Yeah.
Look, they feed me in here. I'm getting food. I do see the sunlight, but I got the key in my hand, the freedom. But they come take care of me every day.
And I don't know if I get out of this cage, what's gonna happen, if they're gonna feed me.
Am I gonna be able to feed myself? I can walk out, but can I do everything myself? They taking good care of me.
Ooh-wee. And I'm like, Jesus, but when you open that cage and you get out of there, and it's like you said, you look back at the cage like, why did I let you hold me captive?
Exactly.
Why did I let you do that? And it's nothing bad about that person. It's more about me.
It's like, you. Hey. It's you. Yeah. It's you. It's you not valuing yourself to the point to say, I deserve more. I need better. It's you. We do this to our own selves. We do it to our own self. If a lot more of us stood up for ourselves and what we believed in and was able to communicate our wants and our desires the way it's meant to be, a lot of the relationships that we go through, child, we wouldn't be in them. I knew I wouldn't be in them. I knew I wouldn't be, but I wasn't able to communicate that. You know, I didn't know how. I just found my voice about 4 years ago. Yeah. I found my voice. Look, you know what I want and what I don't want now. You know what I'm accepting, what I ain't gonna accept. Yeah, but I didn't have that when I was young. I didn't know how. I didn't know how to communicate.
Women don't have a voice. So many women don't have that voice.
Nope.
Like they don't. And then like sometimes I can tell like some people that I see, they start tapping into that voice and you see them tapping into it and it's like, it's coming out, it's birthing. And then something comes and it shut it back down. It's like, oh man, like she back silent again, like she back in it again. And it's like, nothing wants you to break out of that because the enemy knows that once you actually break out and you get your voice, he done. He know he can't.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap. There's no saving them. It's a wrap. Everything that's been put against you will no longer have any weight. Let's keep them dumb and ignorant. When you're dumb and ignorant, you are in place. You are controlled. It's when you get educated. You get educated. It's a wrap. We can't do nothing with an educated person. So a lot of things is against you to keep you dumb.
Yes, but then, like you said, once you get on that other side of it, the things that was trying to hold you back, they actually become fuel. They actually become the very things that pushes you into further purpose, further destiny, further success. Like, it's like, I never thought that this would actually put me here. Like, I thought me going through that would actually make me here. Like, and it's like, why would you sit on that and not tell somebody else? Like, it's like you got $1 million. Like I always tell people about salvation. You have $1 million and you can teach everybody else how to get $1 million, but you just gonna be quiet about it. There's no way you're gonna be like,
it's the power. If I tell you how to empower yourself, then we're all equals.
Yes.
So I can't empower you. I have to let you stay there so I can feel good about being me. Because if you are the same as me, I'm not special. Because you don't value yourself enough. You don't see yourself as special as who you are. You have to be above people in order to feel special. So that's some inner work. That's some inner working that's got to going on with you. Because let me tell you something. I don't care who got more money than me. You ain't gonna tell me what my worth is, because I know what my worth is.
Right. You can have all the fancy things. At the end of the day, I know who I am. And that stuff don't make me. The stuff and the fame and the followers. Some people be like, oh, this is what you got to do to get these many followers. I ain't got to do nothing but do me, do what God told me to do. And then the followers going to come. The followers that he already had for me, they going to come. I ain't got to do all these ads. I ain't got to do all this. Do what God told me to do. And the rest of it is going to come. I don't have to do nothing else.
If all you got to do is remember your why, and that's what I do, and everything that I do, because the healing space, they don't really think they need to heal, until you really go through something. Nobody's not trying to heal, but the people that need to hear me, they hear me. They hear me. So it doesn't even matter. The people that need to hear the word that I have to say, they hear me when they need to hear it.
Good. Well, I have totally enjoyed this time. I just hope and pray that, those of you who are listening, those of you who are watching, who will watch this, who will listen to this, I hope and pray that you take this information in and not just hear it and not do and not act on it. Like, if it's even just getting with Latisa and setting up, first appointment to see where you are, what you need. Don't sit on that. Don't, because it's wasting years. Like Latisa said, she did 4 years of, I just wasn't living. I did 1 year of it. You don't want to have to do none, because you got people who've already done the time for you. They've already done the prison sentence for you. You don't have to be in prison. You don't even have to go to prison. These people here telling you, listen, I got you probation right here. I'm going to keep you from going to prison. You don't even have to go where I've been to. So I got you. But some people, we do know, like you said, those who just want to go to prison for themselves, they just got to go to prison. They got to
touch the fire and see it's hot themselves. But hey, that's how people learn. Some people are visual learners. They need to touch it and see that it's really freaking hot. But that's okay. We all have our own journey and how we come to pass what we need to do. And I also just want to offer this free gift to any of your listening, viewing audience. If you go to my website, www.imreadytoletgo.com, I have a free gift. It's basically how to let go of the emotional pain without going to therapy.
That's good. Thank you so much for that. And I hope and pray, like I said, that that the listeners will go. I know I am, because I remember you, telling me about it. And I was like, and you were telling me, like, I believe that you're going to be a coach one day. And I'm like, I like that idea. And I thought about it, and I've heard people actually say it to me, but I'm like, I think I need to get under coaching myself, like get in my own, even though I've gone through this and it's been a year, I still feel like there are things that I still need to address. And I feel like coaching and therapy is not one of those things. Like, I mean, if you do it and you do it for a session, like you do it for, I don't know, 6 months or whatever, because of budget reasons. I get that. It's good. It's better to do some, I would say, than to do none. But I feel like it's an ongoing thing. I feel like it should be something that's included in our budget. Just like we include food, just like we include money for clothing, and include money for trips and things like that.
Mental health
ain't gonna help us for real. This coaching, this therapy is what's gonna actually help us in life. You can
totally
have all clothes.
Totally agree.
Yes.
I invested a lot in coaching and therapy. Trust me, it's the only way I'm able to be this person I am today. I didn't do it alone. I didn't do it alone. Yeah. So for any of your viewing audience, they can always connect with me on Facebook. I'm at Latisa Be, and on Instagram, I'm _Latisa Be. Or you can always just go to my website, www.latisabe.com.
Yep. And all of this information will be in the show notes on the podcast. And if you're watching on YouTube, it will be down in the notes area where you find all the information from the video. Again, Latisa, thank you so much for being on here with me. I really, really appreciate it.